Bethel here, creator, writer, and artist of the Long John webcomic, which you can read at longjohncomic.com. Here with another D. Bethel Draws video. Again, inking a page from the upcoming 4th chapter of Long John. Now, this video and the last one, you might have noticed something different about at least my drawing techniques, even though I'm only recording my inking, is that I'm inking over normal lead pencil instead of the non-repro blue line stuff that I usually use. And it's not it is an intentional choice. It's mostly a matter of, I needed to mix things up because I was feeling a little stale in terms of drawing and inking. So even mixing it up with something as simple as the type of pencil you use can be enough to kind of get your gears going again. And in future pages, I go back to the blue line just because of erasing. I do enjoy drawing in lead, but just the erasing takes so much time, and you don't have to do that with the blue line pencil. So, but I am drawing more with a regular pencil in my sketchbooks and whatnot. But when it comes to pages, I don't think it'll be something I stick with, as it hasn't been since I'm a bit further on this. This panel is a bit of a hero pose. I was intentionally kind of going for that more sort of superhero style language. Obviously, Long John isn't supernatural or superhero in any shape or form, but this is a scene, not to spoil anything. I guess this whole video is a spoiler in some sense, since you are seeing stuff from the upcoming chapter. But this is a panel meant to evoke that sort of heroic tone that that you see when heroes stand up to meet their calling. And so I pulled a lot of that vocabulary, for lack of a better word, from my own past as a superhero book reader, but also as kind of a spoiler alert again. This kind of a joke. Notice that I draw in his hair underneath, even when it's underneath the brim of the hat, and I color them both flat black, or I color them, I guess that's the right word, but whatever. I do that just because it's a matter of maintaining the structure, the integrity of the structure of the drawing, even if you don't see it. I remember seeing recently in a tweet by Les McLean, who does the wonderful webcomic Johnny Crossbones, his main character, his face is all just a flat black except with a skull kind of painted on the front. I'm not really sure. I don't think he's really explained the history behind the character's drawings, but he did share a drawing that he inked before actually filling it in with black. And he does draw the character's ear and like lines for depth and curvature of the head. He's like, I ink it over with black anyway, but it's just kind of cool to see before you do so. And I think there's a lot of inherent value to doing that kind of stuff for the artist, even if it's stuff that the audience will never see. A lot like writing in its own way, kind of the iceberg theory, but of drawing. And one of the things you see in this video a little bit is, and you saw it as well in the last video, especially around the collar of Long John's jacket here, is a technique that I'm trying to incorporate more, sort of texturing. And you see, I'm doing an aesthetic choice here at the bottom here, where I'm trying to come up with techniques to kind of differentiate between types of fabrics and stuff. So like the leather collar on his coat, I'll try to ink it the same way with the sort of highlighted edge, and of course the fuzzies on his Long Johns. The fill I'm doing here is something I actually did in the first volume of Long John, is sort of a happy accident, where I inked one part of the panel just in flat black. I actually didn't ink it in flat black. In the page where Long John's in the jail, I actually didn't fill it in at all, but for a guy that was standing behind the bars of the jail, I just kind of scratch filled him in like this. And when I filled it in with black later, it looked pretty cool, and you could see there was depth to the silhouetted figures, even though they were in silhouette. And so I decided to kind of bring that back, because I don't think I really did it too much in chapters 2 or 3, but I like the effects. And so I'm using it to differentiate between like dark shadows in the background or the flat black of like his hat and his hair, and simple like shallow depths like the shading of his coat when it's behind his body or underneath the table there. And I just like the effect, and I like that it was kind of discovered as a happy accident. Like a lot of artists, I'm not the most confident or excited to do backgrounds, although I've been getting much more confident and comfortable with them. This might not be the best example of it, but the way I try to do backgrounds, I try not to go overboard in terms of detail and perfection. Um, Although you'll see here that I should be paying more attention to perspective, but instead I kind of fudge it. That's fine. But the guiding sort of principle I have for backgrounds, especially on scenes where I want you to focus on the foreground or focus on the dialogue, is that I use backgrounds to just add a sense of place, not to distract. I'm not really keen on showing off my technical ability, which is not very strong actually, hence all the erasing. Um, Instead, I know what I am good at, which is mostly posture and faces and that sort of character storytelling. And so I've been working really hard on my background art, or my layout, my sort of expository art, for lack of a better word, to do its job of creating that sense of place, which is really important to the Long John story. Like a lot of things when it comes to actually getting images on the page, I like to work with a respectable balance of careful planning and considered guesswork. Anyway, that's I hope you enjoyed the video and some stuff I had to say about it. Check out the comic at longjohncomic.com. Till the next one, I'm D. Bethel, and thanks for watching.